Dry Goods Art Gallery in Windsor has put up an exhibit showing pictures from a 1970s refugee camp in the south of Lebanon. The Fort City Gallery is available for the public to see at all hours because it's displayed in the front windows of Chance Coffee Shop at 1012 Droulard Road. The photos tell the story of our next guest's grandfather. Safa Yunus joins us in our studio to share more. Good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us about the inspiration behind this collection.
I really felt that this is the time to show Palestinian stories in our community. This is a snapshot in my family's history. My grandparents on both sides were forcibly displaced from their homes in Palestine in 1948 and both found their ways to this refugee camp in the south of Lebanon. The Palestinian history is a lot longer than the past 14 months, unfortunately, the past very difficult 14 months. And I just always find so much comfort and belonging when I look at these photos. And I just felt maybe this is a time to share that with the community here.
Did you grow up learning these stories, or was this a part of your family history that you had to uncover and find photos about?
I mean, I've always seen these photos. They've always just been these beautiful pictures that I've looked at to understand my family. I didn't really grow up with a lot of family around here, so it was a good way to keep to keep connected. And I've just found myself always looking at them during really difficult times and asking questions to my parents and my dad specifically. He's the photographer behind a lot of them. And he would tell me stories of, these people survived horrible, horrible events. And these photos were taken 20 years after this sort of apocalyptic moment in their lives. And here they are staring back at me smiling. And I just find so much comfort and joy in that. So, yeah.
I'm wondering how you identify with that, with your own story, because you say you look at them and you feel a bit of inspiration and comfort. Mm-hmm. How do you reflect on that as yourself?
I think it just, I don't know, there's just so much joy and resistance in those photos, and it's a great reminder with everything that's happening in Gaza right now that, there is life to be lived, even in the most difficult circumstances. And as tough as I feel like it is here for us, we are just kind of watching in the distance and trying everything within our means to make a change. I think it's important when I reflect on myself to understand that community is a huge part of strength and resistance, and to have solidarity is a really big thing. So looking at these photos and having them up for the community really means a lot to me.
What kind of images do people see in the photos?
It's kind of daily life in the refugee camp. I just found that there weren't many photos taken during this time period in the 70s. There's a lot of photos in the beginning when, they were living in tents, and a lot of photos now where it's this highly dense, packed area, but not really of the day-to-day life, especially in the 70s. You can see my great-grandmother making bread, my grandmother making bread, people celebrating the release of my uncle from capture, my aunts and uncles sitting on the floor eating breakfast, just little scenes of daily life and scenes of joy and happiness.
How do you find the rest of the community has connected with these photos? What are you hearing from people who have seen the photos so far?
I feel so lucky. I feel like I've just been wrapped in so much love and comfort and support by the people around me. I've just been hearing these are photos that, if you're part of any diaspora in this country, you can recognize something in these photos, So I've just been getting a lot of love and support, and I'm really thankful and grateful for that.
What have the last 14 months been like for you?
Oh man, a bit dystopic if I'm being honest. Having to watch these scenes of horror on your screen and then continue having conversations with people like everything is normal. And just continue your life, your relationships, your work, everything, and grieving all at the same time. And then looking around and seeing, is anybody else, clued into this? Is anybody else aware that, hundreds of thousands of people are, gone for no reasonable, no good reason? It's difficult. It's been difficult, but there's such a strong community here, and I'm really, really, really grateful for them. I've been in Windsor for the past 5 years, and I'm originally from Cambridge, so finding like-minded folks here, people with so much empathy and love has been really good.
You had a presentation at the gallery and your parents were there. What was that like for you?
It was really special. They drove down the 3 hours. They're getting a bit tired of that drive, but it was honestly wonderful. I had an artist talk, and my dad got up on the mic as well and shared what life was like living in the camp when he was there, and when he was, in his teens and 20s and stuff. And it was lovely to hear from the community about how they received these photos and the curiosity behind this work has been really, really nice.
What did your dad share? What was it like for him?
He said it was, which honestly makes me feel a little bit, I don't know, maybe good, because he said that I did a good job in in recreating the feeling, because I have the corrugated steel roof, which I made out of PVC, like plastic, spray painted to look like that. He basically walked us through the history and how when his parents first got there, it was made of like, tents, and then clay with straw, and then eventually, as you see it in the display, with that sort of corrugated steel roof, and just all the different phases of life and its difficulties in that camp, and and what it's like to live stateless without really any rights, and you've been forced into this situation, having escaped violence, and are now trying to create a life for yourself and for your children, in a state that isn't necessarily the most welcoming to you as well. So he said it was difficult, but again, I think like that those lessons that I'm learning here, in this community are what was being taught there as well in those camps.
Yeah. What you said, he says he's proud of you. Is there anything else he said about being able to share this part of his own life with everybody?
He's a man of very little words. But I'm just happy that he was able to come out and talk with everyone. Yeah, he said he's grateful.
Yeah.
And as am I. Yeah.
As are we. Thank you so much, Safa.
Thank you for having me.
Safa Yunus is the creator of Gura. It's a photo art installation on display at Dry Goods Art Gallery in Fort City until next February. Again, that's at 1012 Drullar Road. You can see it in the front window of Chance Coffee Shop.